Hello everyone, and welcome to my second game in the October monthly tournament versus Badgerjelly. We won in the first one, and so we were up 1-0 in this best of 3, so one victory away from advancing to the next round. But the next game on Kostritsa had a really interesting matchup. Badgerjelly bringing in Amia Craiova, which got buffed a lot lately. The Partisans, especially on a wooded map like this, pretty strong, whilst I was bringing around my favorite division in the game currently. 4th Alpina Monte Rosa, strong air, light, cheap armored vehicles that are nice in these small range engagements as well. Pioneers with TNT and flamethrowers and a lot of good SMGs as well. So a really interesting matchup, as the Oshnotsis on the other side also really strong infantry. And yep, a really interesting game to go forward into. But before we jump in, one big shout out to Steel Division League Season 9 coming up and starting on the 31st of October. So be around there, as we also will have a pre-show on the 30th of October, drawing the divisions for the league, drawing the groups for the league, and talking with a couple of other content creators about who we think will win, what we think is the current meta, and so on and so forth. So be around there, further announcements coming up on the channel, so don't miss that out, and I hope to see you there as well. All information's, as always, down below. So with that said, let's talk about the game. As Badgerjelly, as you can see, bringing in a lot of infantry. Krupi Sturmove, for example, a nicely buffed unit that is now a good bit cheaper, and a nice TNT unit. Whilst we bring in some pioneers to try to get this forest. The big AA gun to help us out with the airplay, and also have a 2000 meter range gun, as our opponent doesn't have any 2000 meter range HE guns in their arsenal, so that is a big advantage there. In the north, a lot of infantry trying to get in here, whilst on the other side, mortars and a lot of flamethrowers will try to rush us there. And in the south, we bring in a good amount of units to get in here as well. T-26s are nice because they have 1750 meter range, outranging any smaller tanks. Can hold down the road here pretty well, where you have a long line of sight. Obviously against tigers and panthers that potentially can come around in small numbers in Amia Craiova as well. They would be heavily outgunned, but there you can just dodge the fight. But for example, against the other Italian tanks that we also will have access to later, like the M1441, they should be doing pretty well. Down here in the south, GNR Esploratori, our fast units, because the big disadvantage 4th Alpina has is that its speed is not the best. Your normal trucks are really slow with 60 km/h to the Wunker, and even your Fiat trucks only come with 80 km/h. So having something with 85 is quite nice with the AS42, and it also has radio, which helps out. Autoplane data coming in with 82 km/h for a bit of extra speed as well. Yeah, sadly, currently the motorbike of the Italians also really slow, so you can't even bring your small flame squadrons in a fast motorbike at the moment. Something that I brought up in the strike team, so hopefully that is changing soon. Meanwhile, over here, Krupi Sturmove with MG42, Krupi Sturmove without that, some CQC infantry, and the Oshnotsis, really the backbone of AK at the moment. Pretty cost efficient, big units with Molotovs. Those are really nice, and you get a good amount of them. So yeah, as you can see, the Oshnotsi being around everywhere here in the south as well. Some Maxim MGs and a good strong infantry setup. As both sides relatively light on armor, both decks, as we have some AS42s with AA guns to help us out in the AA part as well. But with their light armor, they also are immune to small arms fire, and they can use their 20mm pretty well for dealing with infantry as well, which is really nice. The AS42, a really nice vehicle. Yes, the armor doesn't really protect you against anything armored penetrating, but it means that enemy small infantry can't shoot back at you, and you pay a small price for them only. Like 5 points for this vehicle is super cheap, especially as they come in with radio. A lot of things in the Italian arsenal are pretty cost efficient when it comes to firepower that they provide. So that is something I really enjoy about them. As said, speed is the major issue. You otherwise would love to play them Vanguard, but the speed really stops you from rushing too quickly, so that's why I continue playing the Maverick. Even though Vanguard is viable with some other decks again now, and I'm more of a Vanguard player myself usually. On the other side, Badgerjelly did choose to play balanced. Income that with AK is fine. We have seen a similar matchup before in the tournament finals, actually, when we had the great match between Onord and Luna on the same map in the charity tournament, where Luna also played Amiakarova and was really successful with them on this map, where the moment where everyone realized Amiakarova might actually not be as bad as everyone thought they were. The buffs really started to kick in there, and Onord was beaten by them, so does the same fate come upon me here? We will see. Let's go. Emmy 410 coming in here for some recon. 2 mortars unload. One of them starting to instantly drop smoke, and as you can see, the enemy BMWs here with 90 kmh outpacing my units here. But my recon plane at least spots that. That is quite helpful. Smoke coming in around over here as well. And there's no AT in this, so the autoplane data can be hit by enemy vehicles as well. Smoke also coming in a bit too slowly here. And these flamethrower units here already getting forced to unload. Some of them already dying. Meanwhile, in the north, unloads on both sides. Yeah, a bit over ambitious here, maybe with the flamers and the smoke. As these flamers here also get unloaded. Smoke coming in a bit too late, and my infantry here also really strong in the CQC. So, quick fights here. Ending off this nice attempt of a push that maybe was not the perfect execution though, out of Badgerjelly. Down in the south, Maxime's hitting the GNR Exploratory. Hitting it down, but Alpini Faust and Pioneer come in as well. Yak 9 in the air, trying to hunt down my ME410. So I unload my 90mm that was on a really slow track and tried to get the Yak 9 off my tail. The ME410, a lovely fast recon plane for 35 points, an amazing recon plane really, as it can outpace a lot of fighters, can just run away, and also is agile enough to dodge them for a long enough while that your 90mm, which are really good rate of fire for a big gun, can get them either to fall back or even shoot them down, like in this case. Really, the 90mm, an absolutely powerhouse. So that's why this worked out so well. Meanwhile, over here, Cooper Stormove engaging my Pioneers. 8-man TNT squadron for 20 points versus my TNT flamethrower combination. They get their TNT off, which was really unfortunate. So I had to disengage the Pioneers or face the surrender. Not reacting here in time. So the Cooper Stormove with the MG42 get the surrender. Meanwhile, Kubus over here coming in onto my autoplane data. Missing with their Piat though, with the first shot, but their second shot hits us and gets the kill. Kubush kill, really good played, well played there by Badgerjelly. But losing out the initial flamethrower push, still a big blow there to the idea of a great start in the early game in the north for Badgerjelly. Meanwhile, big formation of Oshnotzi over here with their 15-man strength. 12 carabiners, so not the most amazing firepower, but 15 man still is a lot of hit points. Molotov helps out a lot, and yes, carabines are not the most amazing, but at 12 those start to do some damage. And if you multiply that by 3, you have a good damage output there. Pioneer getting killed off. And I realized, okay, a heavy investment here by Badgerjelly into this forest, so I will have to invest more there. 13-11 for Badgerjelly here so far. Trying to get my bombing run in here, getting the kill. Big issue of Amiakarova is that they don't have great AA till C-phase. Only 20mm, which are not that amazing. And losing a Yak 9 fighter already did hurt Badgerjelly at the beginning. 20mm now coming out in number, whilst I get my amazing artillery pieces out. These have really great rate of fire for with or like really solid rate of fire of 7 rounds per minute, and they're super accurate and have a super low aim time when shooting with radio, and all of that for 50 points is quite nice. Well, meantime, up here in the north, we get some lovely shots off, but nice use of the mortar trying to pin us down there. We are a bit stuck here, can't push in here easily, and the more and more Nazis coming in. My infantry trying to hold the ground. Some more pioneers being called in here to try to fight the Nazis. 1v1, they beat them, but obviously Nazis a bit cheaper and can be a bit more spammed. Schwat coming in, the Jagdpanzer 38, another one of the unique tanks that you get as Army Akrova. It also beats out all my tanks easily. But my artillery tries to pin down this forest for my pioneery, so that they just can run over it and surrender it. Not the perfect timing. Nearly perfect, but not quite perfect. And now my pioneers can move onward. And as you can see, pioneers just so quick in killing stuff. With their 4 Berettas and their flamethrower, they are really big damage dealers. TNT also on top for bigger engagements. Yeah, bit of a misplay there with the artillery. Running a bit into my own artillery, not the greatest play there. Meanwhile, couple fighter bombers keep on pounding in the north. Now, more 20mm AA there coming up as well. I reinforce into this forest. I want to win this forest fight, so a lot of flamethrowers coming in. And 1 pioneer as well, as the rest of the pioneers for A phase have been deployed already. Pioneer win easily against the leader here. And I do not see any other house still holding the ground here though. Back to a 12-12. Obviously, B phase is where we want to win this game. A phase, not too important. Whilst artillery is now coming in on the Ognias over here. Ognias trying to fall back out of it. That's the artillery keeps on raining down on them. Pioneer not on the perfect range here against the Archnazi. Disengaging. So artillery refocuses on that, trying to get rid of these guys. But Autoblindatas hold the line against the amount of enemy infantry. But M40 pushing in. Autoblindata would lose that duel, so have to be careful here. P26 out of position for that. P26 coming in to also position itself in the north. Whilst the 2 other artillery pieces of this A phase card come in as the ones in the north stun down the Nazis over here. That should allow the pioneers to easily push in there and take over that territory. Pioneer here using the couple of Kakanos to shoot at the enemy Ognia. Get the kill there. Not the highest DPS units obviously, but if you leave them shooting for long enough, it will do the job. The 75mm here dealing some damage to the Archnazi. Could now easily be overrun by the Pioneer. Some nice kills there though. Artillery also being called in over here now. Pioneer versus Gruppe dodging the TNT there. Only losing 1 man to it. But artillery comes in to finish it off. Bit bad timing there once more by me with my artillery. But hey, that happens. And now we should be able to push for 13-11 here. But Badgerjelly, nice early land grab. Now obviously has to hold on to it for the next 10-15 minutes. That's the plan here for my opponent. Try to hold on, not lose too much, and just maybe give me a 13-11 or 14-10. Don't give me the 15-9 for as long as possible. And hold on whilst I try to overwhelm the enemy with air, with infantry, and with cheap spam tanks once my income advantage really starts to kick in. Luckily for me here, the tank, the airplane drops off its bombs, just got pushed back right after. So both Maxims eliminated here. Annoying thing for Badgerjelly as 2 MGs here holding off any infantry pushing over. Obviously, we're in a nice spot. So, bit unfortunate. My artillery here was a bit off, but yeah, I thought the enemy infantry was a bit closer than it actually was. And I tried to create a creeping barrage here, as you can see. to help out my infantry moving forward. ME410 moving in. Then I decided to shoot at the enemy artillery. And hit myself a bit here. Really not the perfect timing of artillery in this game so far. Still did a decent job though. Artillery over here. Also trying to help out. Trying to push some enemies back. Keep the enemy busy. Artillery shots coming in over here. Flying in. Perfectly landing on the 20mm. 20mm has to be careful. First fight here. Heavy casualties on both sides, but no breakthrough just yet. 20mm here will fall. And that's the lovely thing about these artillery guns. They're just such nice rapid fire guns. Badgerjelly realizing the second AAPs might be under fire next. Disengaging there already. Good reaction there. But my pioneers are a bit outnumbered over here. Can use their Berettas though, so their damage output is not half bad. Nazis moving forward though to try to throw their Molotov. Will get under fire by an MG42 for it. My artillery trying to help out from the rear, but comes in a bit late. More pioneers and Alpine Recruiter will try to help out in the long run. Enemy tank did fall over here, as we have some P26s coming around from the side. Whilst only a couple of infantry units and one anti-tank gun are remaining over here for now. Autoblindatas and M42s trying to move forward. Enemy AT gun though is around. And I realized that a bit too late, losing my M42, get the enemy AT gun at least, but still an annoying loss there. Whilst in the south, the back and forth is still on, still only a 12-12, but we're about to get deeper into B phase now, where the income advantage really will go up, so Badgerjelly's toughest times still ahead of him, but more and more MG42 coming from the rear. More infantry rolling in, and artillery will now try to help out a bit better than before in the fights over here with its shots. Still not landing perfectly. There's Nazi here on a different spot once more, but getting stressed out a bit, which is nice. No direct damage hits though. As the map is still a bit off. Over here, artillery was more accurate, getting enemy pinned down, allowing me to get into the town. And once you're in the town, the enemy will have an annoying time trying to get you out of there again. The SWAT engaging the Pak 40. Pak 40 though has a good chance of penetration on the way back. Does so, gets the kill. So big loss there for Badgerjelly, losing one of his few high-level tanks. Now Panthers and Tigers are the ones remaining, but not out on the battlefield just yet, and costly to afford at this stage. Flamethrower units versus flamethrower units engaging over here. Pioneer is helping out though. Should make this a quick fight, as the Nazis have been dealt with, and that means the southern forest here under pressure. Obviously not directly getting into a flag. The flags are a bit further away, so still a good bit away from a 59, as we are 3 minutes into B phase. And in general, a pretty low tick so far onto Badgerjelly. So I have to ramp up my speed if I want to win this game before Badgerjelly's income advantage gets too big in C phase with this Maverick versus balanced income. More artillery coming in for me, trying to overwhelm the enemy over here, trying to allow my air force maybe to go in and deal more damage as well, whilst the enemy has more and more AA as well. Luckily for me, Bomber drops the bombs again just before getting pushed back. Does get damaged, so we'll have a time in repair. ME410 will be pushed back as well, but 20mm without veterancy, just not deadly at all. So without any fighter support, they won't stop my airplanes anytime soon. But my 75mm try to stop the enemy infantry onslaught. A heavy investment into infantry here for Badgerjelly brings it back to a 12-12, and that is really what I want to avoid at this stage. I want to keep a tick on And even if it's only a 13-11, that would be a good start. But Badgerjelly fighting back well, getting it back to a 12-12. So I start to realize at this point that maybe winning quickly here might be tougher than I hoped it would be. So maybe going for killing more stuff is the way, breaking him in that regard, but that won't be easy. Obviously a 15-9 breakthrough soon still would be the easiest outcome. Full on onslaught now with my tanks in the south as we overwhelm the enemy AT here, allowing my tanks to get a bit of ground here. 12-12 still on. This flag still absolutely vital. Maybe we can win the center with the 90mm and some air as well. Artillery keeps on firing onto the enemy infantry. ME410 coming in time and again to get information about the enemy, whilst the Tiger enters the battlefield in the north. Mortars continuously annoying my units in the north. Pak 38 got my P24 there as well. I was constantly worried that there might be an attack coming in here. Mortar fire kept me worrying as well. P26 here, holding the line on the side, whilst an ME410 comes in here to fight enemy AA position, find enemy MGs and so on. Important positions that my artillery could hit upon. As these guns here nearly empty. Guns over here got the supplied Pavesi up from 100mm, and my artillery comes in big numbers, trying to push the enemy out of these forests. Vajnotsi under fire here, getting pinned down relatively quickly, even though the Berettas are not firing. And there we go. Pioneer should be able to move further forward. Bombers coming in again, though not really necessary as the enemy was pinned down already. A lot of artillery flying around. Enemy defenses here holding so on though. Still a 12-12 and only 3 minutes till sea phase. So really I have to break the backbone to keep the ball, to keep the snowball running off of Badgerjelly soon. Otherwise sea phase income the difference will just be too big to overcome. As Badgerjelly will get 155 versus 80 income. Tiger comes in here, but I have 2 guns that are capable of hitting the Tiger, and I get a nice shot in here with the Pak 40. Pak 40 firing once more, missing this time. P26 gets penetrated by the Tiger, but luckily P26 is a really sturdy tank, counts as a medium tank, and Pak 40 gets the kill onto the Tiger. Really important kill here. Tiger could have been big trouble on the open, but luckily Tiger gets eliminated. And a good position Tiger would lock down the whole situation over here. Yak 9 getting shut down is a big one as well. Killing off enemy airplanes means that my aircraft have an easier time, especially if I can take out some of these 20mm. So I'm pushing deeper and deeper. Still only a 14-10 and still far away from victory though. So we have to eliminate more of Badgerjelly's forces now that we currently have the biggest advantage in points that we will get in this game. And win this right here, right now. Pioneer pushing forward, MG42 getting eliminated. Artillery keeps on pounding. Good sits there. 14-10 still on, whilst the 100mm is firing from the rear. P26 over here, trying to hit onto the 20mm. Getting some nice hits in there. M1441 moving around. That's another 100mm will come in here. More M1441 being quite nice there. That's Pioneer moving in further and further. Alpini Recruiter moving in. Pioneer will try to get in here as well, as the Gruppe Sturmove gets pushed back. Pioneer getting the kill. Enemy leaders back here getting shot out as well. BA-10 holding the line down in the south, but we have the 59, and we're about to break the middle here. Just as C-Phase is approaching, 40 seconds away. In the north, more and more infantry rolling in for my opponent. Here, I'm really weak. If that can't break through, that could allow my opponent enough time. So my last remaining points of C-Phase income going into trying to hold the line up here. As if this breaks through, Badgerjelly has a good chance of getting the game stretched out long enough. But maybe still jumping the gun a bit. Maybe could have been a better setup push here. But one more Nazis coming up. For now, Badgerjelly has still 11 minutes of getting stuff done. My bombers flying around, trying to get the kills here. 20 millimeters getting annihilated though is really, really nice for me. Being able to shoot them down is absolutely amazing, as that allows me to bring in bombers non-stop in the north if I want to. But more and more tanks of mine roll in here as well. 16-8 is on, and the M14 here is on a good way of eliminating all the infantry around here, which would annihilate the threat to the north, would allow me to completely focus onto the southern part of the map where I have my flags grabbed off of Badgerjelly. A lot of infantry coming in over here, so that is a bit annoying, but not that much anti-tank left on the battlefield. Whilst I bring in a lot of cheap tanks, my artillery still keeps on pounding. Any stronghold of the opponent will get shot at by that. 17-7. Obviously aiming for an 18-6 here now to get this game over with, as C-Phase income now starts coming in for Badgerjelly, and I want to have him as few minutes of income as possible in C-Phase, so that the income advantage he now has can't really kick in. Fokker Wolf coming in, trying to beat the Nazi down here. 20 millimeters, really not efficient enough against the Fokker Wolves. Another Fokker Wolf gets its bombs off as well. Both Nazi here pinned down. More and more artillery flying in. Pak 40 versus M42 over here going on. 17-7 still. Still no 18-6, so still 10 minutes remaining as some T-34s start arriving. And they outclass my tanks, especially my small tanks, by quite a bit. They can get some good engagements that would be pretty big. At the meantime, in the north, I have a lot of L3s and M15s to try to get onto this, and these infantry units don't have any kind of anti-tank. No anti-tank in the whole far north, and that is pretty tough for my opponent, as that means there's nothing Badgerjelly can do against these L3s and these M15s. Snipers coming in, but they don't really do it. T-34 would help out a lot, but these are called in over here. M42 getting overwhelmed by a lot of cannon fire as well. At the same time though, good push in the south. Pushing in onto the flag over here, and still 9 minutes for Badgerjelly. But the north is looking rough. 18-6 now, reduces it to only 4 minutes as the M42 over here does fall. T-34 trying to come in, but the Pak 40 over here is able to deal with the T-34. T-34 really efficient against these tanks in 1v1 situations, but not that efficient when it comes to facing up against the Pak 40. Artillery pieces also trying to pin down the units over here, hitting pretty well. A couple of them instantly pinned down here by these artillery hits, and now under heavy fire. Some Alpini Fausts tried to hold the line. 17-7 now. But the L3 is now moving forward in the north, and there's no anti-tank up here. So 19-5 now, and that is beginning of the end. 19-5, really good take. ME 410 coming along. Infantry fights in the south, whole game through, much better for Badgerjelly than for me. Did a lot of misengagements, but the artillery did its job. Pioneers in the center worked out pretty well, especially around here. Artillery kept on pounding onto enemy infantry, pinning it down, then allowing me to engage. My airplay worked out as well. Yeah, always really close of getting the bombs dropped before being pinned, but that is really the weakness of the 20mm, that they don't give a good anti-air umbrella. They are helpful in helping your fighters winning dogfights, but I shot down one of the fighters of Badgerjelly early on, and the second one died on later. Yak 9's also not the most amazing fighters. They can work out, but you have to be careful. You really have to use the 20mm Yak combo pretty well, especially against a deck with such a strong air arm as the Fofalpina here. Whilst I'm breaking through everywhere now. Still no anti-tank in the north as of now. 24. Yeah, really close to the 21 in 3. As the center, the T-34 trying to move in. Ojnazi is trying to move in, but there's a lot of light armor all around. And the Ojnazi is not doing anything against that. But my tanks and my tank heads roll in further and further north. Like over here. Still not fully under control, but yeah, not having any anti-tank on these is a big weakness. And fighting all these light unit spams that come in B and early C phase for me. Pioneer also clocking the line nicely over here. 21 and 3 now, 50 seconds on the clock. Whilst M15 hold the line against the Partijanis over here. Partijanis not getting in range. T-34 trying to come around, but there's a lot of firepower onto these infantry units now. And even the T-34 might have some trouble with dealing with this many units. But some more go for the flag in the north. 21 and 3 still ticking. And this is a pretty quick end now, as that tick rate is quite insane. Partizani being around here with their anti-tank grenade. That'll be still trying to help out from the rear. T-34 getting some shots off, getting some kills, but starting to be pinned as well. And gets pinned before it can get another shot off. And the tank gets the kill there. 23 seconds remaining. L3's moving around in the north, capturing some ground. Not being spotted by the T-34, as it has bad optics. And in the south, the M14 also can't do much. The center got completely won by the light tanks. Really annoying to deal with their 2 MGs and a pretty decent HE gun. And in the end, I get the W here in game number 2 as well. Taking out Badgerjelly in the tournament. Moving on to round number 2, where we'll face Stardeck, a player who has improved a hell of a lot over the last couple of weeks and months. And that will be a tough matchup, but looking forward to it. I hope you do as well. If you made it this far into the video, consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't done so far. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye. See you there.